What's going on, everybody? I hope you're enjoying your Thursday late afternoon / evening so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm going to talk about a couple of more receivers that are going to be making their way back to Big Blue and have been a big part of the New York Giants offense for the better part of the past couple of years. That is Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard. I know I talked about a little bit earlier with Sterling Shepard on one of my shorts that I made, but Sterling Shepard now is back with the New York Giants. He has officially signed a 1-year, $1.1 million contract to return to New York after he ended up tearing his ACL he ended up tearing his ACL back in Week 3 against the Cowboys, but he remained on the sidelines to help out the team, cheered him on, has been a big-time leader on the team, has been a vocal leader on the team. He's been the longest-tenured New York Giant, and Shepard is now back on the New York Giants after he was originally drafted back in 2016 from the Oklahoma Sooners. And he was pick number 40 in round number 2 back in 2016. Shepard is 5'10". He's 196 pounds. He just turned 30 years old last month. And he is the longest tenured player on this football team. He'll be going into his 8th season with Big Blue. And he's coming off 2 major injuries, unfortunately, the past couple of seasons. He dealt with an Achilles injury last year. And now he's coming back from a ACL injury that he suffered in Week 3. So, now you have Sterling Shepard coming back from injury. It's a possibility he might not be ready for the beginning of the season. He had 13 catches for 154 yards last year and 11.8 yards per catch average with 1 touchdown last season before he ended up tearing his ACL. Shepard is going to be one of those key players, though, if they can get him healthy. He's going to be a guy to monitor, though. It's possible that Shepard could begin the season on injured reserve or PUP, just to let that knee get back healthy and get going again. So we're going to have to monitor how Shepard is going to be and his process and his rehabilitation. He did get injured earlier in the season, so it's possible that he could be ready by the beginning of the season, depending on how his recovery goes and how he looks during training camp, because there's a lot of competition at the wide receiver position. And then the other big long-time Giant that will be back with the team, Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton this afternoon has re-signed with the New York Giants on a 2-year, $12 million deal, and the former 5th-round pick at 171 out of Auburn will now be back with the New York Giants. The 6'1", 194-pound wide receiver speedster on the outside will be back catching passes from quarterback Daniel Jones going forward. Slayton was probably the best player on the New York Giants this past season overall in terms of wide receivers. Obviously, Slayton was actually an inactive at the beginning of the season, and it was possible the Giants might have cut him before we got to the end of training camp. But Slayton waited for his opportunity to come, and with Kenny Galladay's ineffectiveness, Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson going down to injury, and Kadarius Toney being traded to the Kansas City Chiefs, Darius Slayton got his opportunity, and he took advantage of it. He had 46 catches for a team-leading 724 yards receiving with a 15.7 yards per catch average. He had 55 yards as his longest with 2 touchdowns overall. Slayton is now going to be coming back for the New York Giants on a 2-year deal. He's going to continue to be one of the best. He's continue to be one of the outside receivers for the New York Giants going into the season. And honestly, if I could really just speak about it, the 4 guys that honestly deserve the most success on this New York Giants team is Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Daniel Jones, and Saquon Barkley. All 4 of these guys have been there since the beginning. And all 4 of these guys deserve to be able to go out there and be able to reap the benefit of success. And now all 4 of these guys are once again get another opportunity to go out there with the New York Giants and try and see if they can build off of their seasons or come back from injury and really make an impression with this New York Giants football team going into the 2023 season. It's great to have both Slayton and Shepard back. They're the elder statesmen of this wide receiver core and of this offense, along with Jones and Barkley. Both of them are going to add leadership. Both of them are going to add playmaking ability. Slayton is the guy that can take it over the top. Shepard is your intermediate, contested catch guy, blocking player over the middle. Slayton could also take it over the middle as well for some big plays. Both of them have a very, very good rapport with Daniel Jones. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they're both back. And also because they're both great locker room players. So honestly, I could not be happier to see both Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard back with the New York Giants wide receiver core. That is now a wide receiver core that is very crowded. Very crowded. Right now, you got Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard. You have Wan'Dale Robinson. You have Paris Campbell, whom they signed earlier on this afternoon. You have Jeff Smith, who they signed last night. Non-guaranteed one-year contract. You have Colin Johnson coming back from injury as well. So you have 7 wide receivers that are currently on this roster. And there's probably going to be some more wide receivers added in the draft coming up. Plus, you have practice squad players like Makai Polk, Khalil Pimpleton, and you also have Rashad Mickens, or Jaden Mickens, as well as David Sills IV that are on this team right now. And they're probably going to add another wide receiver through the draft, whether it's in the top 3 rounds or it could possibly be towards the middle rounds, depending on what the direction the Giants decide to go. But either way, Slayton is back. He was one of the only healthy wide receivers last year, and for the most part, he did a good job. And now Slayton is going to be able to go into this offense in a secondary type role for this team going forward because of the fact you have Darren Waller now and Paris Campbell that are going to be monitoring in this offense to be able to they could take away some of the inside plays going over, as well as they are going to Darius Slayton can be able to take the ball over the top and be that deep threat that the Giants have been looking for. And Paris Campbell can be the guy to operate over the middle, and Sterling Shepard can be your chain mover and your blocking wide receiver over the middle as well. Just add more depth to this position. You have 7 wide receivers now on the roster, and there's going to be more. There's probably going to be at least 3 or 4 more wide receivers added to this roster before we get to training camp in the offseason. So just be on the lookout for that. But the wide receiver core does look a little bit better. Still think they need at least a true number 1 receiver in this core because you could argue it's a bunch of 2s and 3s right now on this roster at the wide receiver position. So we'll wait and see. But this offense has potential to be a lot more explosive overall compared to what it was last year. Now that you have Slayton and Shepard back, you have Wan'Dale Robinson coming back from injury, but he's still a guy you can maybe count on. You have Paris Campbell here, who is a big receiver on the outside over in the middle. You got Darren Waller now at tight end, one of the best tight ends in football. You still got Saquon Barkley in the backfield, and you got Daniel Jones with his ability to run the football with his legs. So, you got more offensive playmakers on this offense, and there's still going to be more to come. Either way, like this move a lot. Glad to have both Slayton and Shepard back, and we'll have to wait and see how they're going to do going into the next season. But hit that like button if you haven't already. Give a sub to NYG Jeffy T85 for more news updates and chatter surrounding the New York Giants. Turn on the bell for notifications of the next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Giants. And let me know in the comment section what you think about Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard's return to the New York Giants and what both of them can provide this offense going into the 2023 NFL season. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Take it easy, and let's go New York Football Giants. Together blue, everyone.